Unlocking the Learn Fly trophy in Karate Kid Street Rumble is 100% the hardest thing you'll have to conquer in order to get that platinum trophy. This 30-second minigame took me around 10 hours to earn a 90 score needed to unlock that trophy, so don't expect to beat this painful challenge on your first few attempts. The minigame sounds simple in concept, as all you need to do is just hit a button whenever that grey ball swings into the green area of this U shape. Chaining multiple presses of this button will gradually increase the swing speed until the ball reaches its maximum speed. If you were to miss just once, it would slow the swing down too much and you would not have enough presses left to score 90 points. Yep, that's right. This minigame demands absolute perfection from the player, so you cannot make a single mistake and must hit all 90 button presses in time for 30 seconds. And that is why this is the Karate Kid Street Rumble's BS trophy. It's honestly crazy, and I don't know why they want you to get that good at this throwaway 30-second minigame, and it's totally not worth a bronze trophy. This should have easily been a gold trophy, because it is really tough. There will be times when you just want to give up and you swear that this is impossible, but hopefully by watching my video you'll see that it is sort of doable, and maybe some of the tips I will give out will prevent you from having to spend 10 hours trying to beat this thing like I did. So here it is. This is how I beat the crane minigame and unlocked the Learn Fly trophy. So the best way to approach this is in gradual stages. Don't expect to be good at this right away, as it will take some time just to get a handle on the speed of the damn thing. When you first try the minigame, it will be a really messy 30 seconds with a lot of misses, and you'll probably only end up scraping around 20 points. Trying to get the rhythm down and keeping it for all 90 presses is obviously going to be the hardest thing, but by trying again and again, you'll start to get used to the speed of the minigame, and it won't seem as daunting as it did on that first go. So control-wise, there are two ways you can play this minigame. The first is by using two fingers to alternate pressing both the square and triangle buttons, or there's the second option by just doing a single button method. So when you just press your preferred button, either triangle or square, I would suggest just using the single button technique, as I found that way easier to control the speed of my presses. Just use your thumb to perform every press of the triangle button, or whichever one you prefer, and hold the pad kind of like I am in this little video clip. Get comfortable with this position and how you're holding it and how you're going to be pressing it with the thumb, because you're going to be here doing this for a while before you pop the trophy. So before we get further into the technique side of things, I'd like to point out that all 4 characters in the game are the exact same in this minigame. None of them unfortunately have a secret easy mode or anything like that, and even at max level none of the characters ever get a perk to make these minigames easier. You'll never get one perk that gives you 40 seconds instead of 30 seconds or something like that, which is something I foolishly thought they would do, but no, they're all exactly the same. So I would suggest you just pick whatever is your lowest level character and just use them throughout, as you'll have to play this minigame so much that you'll level them up quite a bit by the time you beat it. Also, if you can, I would suggest that you try and use 2 controllers so that you can have player 2 just sitting there idling and also leveling up another character at the same time. Because you see, if you play it solo, you'll have a CPU character with you and you'll hear every hit and miss that they are making as they attempt to play the minigame, and that can easily just put you off. Some people might also tell you to just mute all of the audio, but I found that the sounds actually helped me to keep the rhythm. So in terms of that, muting the sound or not, that's really up to you and your sort of preference and how you're getting through this minigame. Okay, so we've covered the basics of what the minigame is and the preferred control method and setup methods, so let's just quickly go over the gameplay. So this minigame will play out the exact same every time. The first 7 presses that you do will gradually increase the speed of the swing, provided they are all hits in the green zone. Then on the 8th press, you will suddenly reach maximum speed, and it will stay at this speed level throughout the remainder of the minigame, providing you're always getting a hit in the green zone. So from the 9th press all the way to the 90th hit, at the end of the minigame, it will stay at this speed level. If you were to accidentally get a miss, the swing will slow down, but your next hit or two will then quickly bring you back to maximum speed. The trickiest parts of your 90 score run will be maintaining the hit combo as it reaches maximum speed, and then trying to keep that all the way to 90. You'll also have to really hold your nerve upon reaching 80 points with a full combo and not messing up for the last few presses. It's honestly really brutal, as you'll need to press triangle twice per swing cycle. So that is once as the ball enters the green zone, swinging from the left to the right side of the screen, and then hitting it again as it swings back from the right to the left where it started swinging. It's really fast paced, and you can't miss any of these presses back and forth as it swings, as you'll end up not scoring 90 points, which is just absolutely brutal in my opinion. And like I said, your first few attempts may just go disastrously wrong, but if you're still finding you're struggling to just get the timing down, I would suggest that you just stop trying to press the button twice per swing cycle, and instead just try and hit it once as it swings either back or forth. And then once you've got a feel for that sort of timing, aim to go for the 2 presses per swing cycle and just go from there. Just gradually build up your experience and skill with this minigame. The key for me with the presses was in the first 8 hits, and always trying to hit it in the middle of the green zone, because if that 8th press is in the middle as it speeds up, with the right timing going forwards, you'll continue to pretty much always hit it in the middle of the green area, and this will help you build the combo, as the timing of the middle press will give you leeway either side to be slightly faster or slower by mistake with a press or two, though this window is really small, so don't rely on it for multiple presses in a row, because you will gradually just go out of sync and get a miss. I also found that it was best to just try and just stare at the green zone. I often would see the ball always on the right side as I was pressing it, but that's just something you'll pick up yourself as you're staring at this for hours on end. And try and blank out the score underneath, because like I said, that'll just really distract you the closer you get to 90 points, so just try not to look at it. There was times where I was staring at the clock, but again, that kind of gives away how close you are. I think you're best to just try and stare at the green area. If you are okay with the timing of getting the 2 hits in per press, you're kind of doing it all right, getting a few misses but kind of getting a handle on a short combo kind of thing, then I would suggest you simply just start out trying to just set a high score for yourself and try and beat that with each play session. So set yourself a goal at the start of each play session. For example, you want to try and consistently get to 40 points, and once you comfortably get that near enough every time, set yourself a new goal of consistently getting 50 points, and just increase that each time until you find yourself comfortably being able to get to, say, 70 or 80 points in near enough every run of this minigame. This way, despite still absolutely failing to get anywhere near the 90 points and get the trophy, you'll still feel like you are progressing and getting better at this minigame the more you play it. Then once you do get to the point where you're always ending up at 70 plus points with each run, you're now ready to move on to the next stage, where here you should now start setting yourself combo goals, as in chaining, say, 40 points in a row without ever getting a miss, and then do 50, and then try and do 60. Just gradually build up your progress with the minigame. And even if you were to miss in one of your early presses before you've even got to like 20, still complete the minigame, go all the way through anyway, because it's worth it just to get the practice with the timings, because I'd often find that I'd probably get a miss at button press 15 or 20, but then everything after that, all the way up to 90, would just be perfect. I'd get it all in time, because the pressure of that run would be off me then, and I would just be more relaxed, and I'd easily get that timing down. And it's a shame that it takes so long to restart the event, because you kind of lose your rhythm in the wait time to go back to it. and the fact that you always lose 10 seconds for it to build up to that 8th or 9th press where it reaches maximum speed is really annoying too. But try and keep that timing in your head while you're waiting to get back there. And with practice, bit by bit, you'll just improve, and you'll eventually get there. And sure, you'll have a great run where you get to like 80 points, and then for the next 10 or so minutes, you'll have loads of terrible runs where you barely get anywhere near that. And you'll probably find that between each play session that you do when you come to attempt this trophy, you'll have to then spend the first 10 minutes of that session just trying to find the rhythm and getting a feel for your timing of the button presses again before you eventually get back into it and start to get up to the 80s again. But just keep trying. That really is the key to this, just the repetition of it all, just doing it over and over again until you eventually just get lucky and unlock it like I did. For me, I found keeping the combo was that was the toughest bit, because I'd often just speed up by mistake with my button presses and end up getting a miss, or I would panic with the score being too high, and then I'd end up losing it right at the end at like the 80 something press, which is just heartbreaking. But I think it's just best done by finding a rhythm, and for me, I found the rhythm by saying a word in my head between each press. So every time I would press the buttons, I'd be like doing it to a rhythm of 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 over and over and over again. But really, you've got to try and find that groove yourself, and try and switch your brain off so that you're almost in autopilot as you're just pressing those buttons, because the more you think as you're doing this, the more likely you are, or at least I was likely, to mess it up and get a miss and lose that combo. It's just all about keeping that pace and that pattern and just keeping steady as you're going along. I also use the actual sound of the controller buttons being pressed by my thumb to sort of help me time it and try and keep it consistent. But really, you just need to get into a good, comfortable position holding the controller, getting used to just pressing it with that one thumb or finger or whatever you're going to use, and try not to readjust your hand after it gets to the 8th press where it speeds up, because you'll probably find if you're trying to move it then to be able to press them quicker, you're going to end up with a miss. So try and get into a good, comfortable position where you're confident with pressing it fast, even though you're starting out slow. And as soon as you get to that 8th press and you hit that, you want to immediately just go into your 1 2 1 2 rhythm. And it can be real tough to nail that rhythm down. But like I said, try and come up with a word. Maybe donuts can be fitted in your head in between each of those presses, so you can time it like that. Try and find a word that helps for you. 1 2 1 2 might not work for you because you still got to time it right as you're saying it. But try and just find something like that to help you with the presses, to try and keep you at a steady pace so that you don't accidentally just keep pressing it a bit too fast. And I guess all that I can really do now is just show you my full run where I got the 90 score. But please bear in mind, the runs I had before that, I was failing at like 70 score, and I was messing up the combo at like 20, and I was really, really down. But then, I don't know, the pattern just clicked with me on the previous attempt, and I kept that rhythm with me on that next game, because like I said, I failed early in that previous run, but I carried on afterwards, getting the combo right all the way through. So even though that previous run failed, I still had that quality of pattern all the way through to help me in my perfect run of it. So yeah, I'm just going to show you the full run of that now, and you can see me getting the trophy. And there you have it, the Learn Fly trophy pops. I was honestly gobsmacked, but my heart was really beating fast, and I was so nervous, and I still don't know how I managed to keep that going without failing it. But yeah, if I can do it, you definitely can too. Just keep trying and take on board what I've said in this video. I know I've rambled on quite a bit, a lot longer than I needed to, I meant to rather. But hopefully you'll find something that's helped you in this video. And if you do find it's helped you, please leave a like, share, comment, sub, all that usual YouTube guff. Oh, and finally, the last little tip. When starting the minigame, just mash the X button. Don't bother trying to press the options button, because if you're anything like me, you'll accidentally hit the triangle button constantly, and that'll just bring up this slow little menu that appears to ask you if you want to quit, so you'll waste a load of time in between each cycle. So just mash X to begin it. But yeah, good luck with this trophy. I hope you get it, and if you do, I'll see you in that Platinum Club. Thanks again for watching. See ya. There's Olympic. First 8 are simple. Just get it when it's in the middle. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.